Okay, questions for Ryan Moeller?
Ryan, you were a little sick after the last game. How are you feeling now?
Oh, I'm feeling much better now, especially after that win and getting that good sleep I needed.
Ryan, growing up in Colorado, did you ever root for one of these teams over the other, CU or CSU?
I think I said before that I've definitely loved Colorado since I was young, and so whenever I could see them on the TV or wherever, I was always rooting for them. But I think especially for this game when I was younger, I probably would root for CU.
Is there a different sense this week coming off of a win versus a season opening loss? Can you talk about how the win changes just the sense in the locker room amongst you guys?
I think as far as the normal, weekly progress or how we go through practice and everything, I think that the intensity and the attention to detail is risen more than it was, and I think now just along with that confidence and knowing, well, this is what we can do is added to that.
Can you talk about your mental approach and kind of your emotions coming into this program as a walk-on, wanting to prove yourself, wanting to get that scholarship, wanting to contribute, and then looking back and to see what a great contributor you are already, just kind of from leaving Rifle to coming here and how that all unfolded for you?
Well, I think that everyone's path through the recruiting process is unconventional, for most, and especially in my case, I'd looked around at a handful of Division II schools, a couple Division I schools, including Colorado State, and when I saw the the change in the staff and I was able to talk to them and I was given this opportunity to play at this university, the one that I'd looked up to since I was young. I definitely saw the chance and I decided to take it, as I am here now, and I knew it was going to be a long road, a tough road, being a walk-on, but you don't have a chance unless you're in the door, unless you're in the game or you're on the team,
Both Nelson and Cepho said that they kind of just see this as another game. Coach said he doesn't really buy that, and the players do feel the rivalry aspect. Where do you stand?
I guess I understand the rivalry aspect, being from Colorado, but as far as, being in the game itself, I feel like if you really look at it as the rivalry aspect and let it get to you, then it can, negatively affect your play. And so looking at it as another game is definitely a good way to go. But, I think everyone on both teams are probably going to go into the game with that chip on their shoulder, with really wanting to get this win and being able to do whatever they can do to get it.
Can you describe your emotions when Coach called you into the office and said he was giving you a scholarship, and also your emotions when you were in the end zone the other day and that ball's hanging up there and you knew it was yours to take, and obviously you knew that was a turning point in the game. It really did turn the game around, but emotions in both of those moments.
Yeah, actually what happened with the scholarship is myself, Jordan Murphy, and Chris Graham all got taken out of the team meeting. We were talking to our coaches, and then as we came back, that's when we kind of put two and two together, really. He decided to introduce us all to the team instead of just kind of doing a one-on-one thing. So that was really nice, and I got to share that moment with my entire team, and that was the first that I knew what was going on. And so I think my emotions were pretty high. It's definitely a great accomplishment and something I'd been waiting for a while and been working towards. And then, this weekend with that interception, I was probably on cloud nine as well.
So you're walking into this meeting in front of your teammates, and you don't know what the coach. You have an inkling maybe something might be up, but you don't really know what he's about to say.
Yeah, so he had held us outside the meeting and then started calling us in one at a time. So you start figuring it out as people were getting called in.
Do you remember what he said, how he said it in front of you?
No, I have no idea. I just kind of had a rush, Heart dropped, and you're like, oh, yay.
And when was it?
This summer, I think it was late July.
Ryan, being a Colorado guy, are there people you know in your life, friends, family, former teammates, whatever, who you relish the fact to give them a little grief if you win this game? And then on the flip side, are there those same people who, if you happen to lose a game, you're afraid to hear from?
Actually, don't know too many people who have decided to go, the Ram path, or just a few that have decided to go with the Buffs. And I think maybe within my family you can give a little tease here and there, but really most of the support kind of goes along with the Buffaloes. As my mother is an alumni here, and so as far as that goes, no. But maybe if my sister would have stayed there, then yeah.
Your sister went to CSU?
At one point she did, but she's finishing off in nursing school right now.
Can you describe throwing the hay bales and the story behind that,
Yeah.
and how that helped you, whether it was just physically making you stronger or maybe teaching you a work ethic or however that may have been part of your makeup?
So I actually Googled the population of Rifle the other day, and because people had always been asking me, and I didn't know. So I don't see it on a sign anywhere, and so I Googled it, and there's actually about 9,000 people there. So right there on the interstate, you got like a tight alliance or bond with a lot of people along the interstate, and whoever needs help. So most of that is, a rural area, people who have land, people who have livestock or other animals that need tending to, and a lot of that just comes with it. And so living out there and having our own land and everything, you kind of grow up having to do chores, whether it's for yourself and your family or someone else who needs it, or if you're trying to make a little money here and there. And so that was, for me, the best way to make money. And especially growing up, being able to do it, it helped instill a pretty good work ethic and understanding that I have to get this job done if I want to do anything else. My parents were pretty good about holding me accountable.
And what's involved with that? How, just lifting them, throwing them? Or,
Pretty
paint a
much.
picture
It's
for
kind
us.
of brute work. You just huck them onto a trailer into a truck bed, but it gets a little tougher if the bales are too wet or the stack's too high or something. So you got it's like a cake toss. You got to try and heave it.
Ryan, defensively, you guys have played fairly well the first two games. Can you talk about what you have liked about the defense and what you feel has not been very good on the defensive side of the ball?
Fortunately, anything that we have seen as something that we have not liked, we've been able to address and we can fix. And something like that with last game was some of our missed tackles, or with myself had some mental errors, and that all thankfully can be fixed with film, with practice, with Q&A, and so that's something that isn't a positive, but we can work with. But the positives, you kind of try and build on those as much as you can, whether it's turnovers or touchdowns and stuff. So that's definitely a focus this week, just like it would be every week, and honing in on going after the ball, getting it out, and making your tackle or knowing your assignment.
Ryan, it seems like most of your teammates would probably come from more of an urban area than you did. So can you envision a day when you might take some of your city slicker teammates and bring them back to Rival and maybe put them through a kind of a city slicker moment?
Yeah, show them Norman or something. I have a couple. My roommate is from Highlands Ranch, so he's gotten to see life over there a little bit. We had to butcher chickens, and so he got introduced into that. But I've tried. Some guys don't really want to. Some guys, they hear that 3-hour drive, and most of them are from California, and so they hear 3 hours and they're thinking about traffic. 3 hours from here to Rifle is it's pretty easy, real pretty drive, going over the passes. So I'm working on it, working on trying to get them over there, go fishing and maybe camping, and then get them some work while we're there too.
If you do it, will you let us know so we can bring our cameras?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely will.
Anything else, Ryan? Out of curiosity, who is Rifle to Rival?
Palisade or Glenwood Springs. They're both pretty good games.